Ezra Cooperstein, the president of Rooster Teeth, is stepping down effective April 26th, but he made the announcement 2 days ago. This is a story that I believe is kind of flying under the radar because I haven't seen anyone talking about this. And I only became aware of this last night in the middle of a live stream when a viewer brought it up in chat. I forget who it was, but whoever it was, thank you so much for bringing this up and bringing it to our attention, because this is certainly an important topic and an interesting one to speculate on with all that's currently going on. Why is Ezra stepping down as president of Rooster Teeth now? That's what I want to talk about in this video, and that's what we're going to get to. I have some evidence supporting some speculations. With that said, let's get into it. So before we get into the speculation, I want to catch you up to speed with the official post that Ezra made here on RoosterTeeth.com. So take a seat, let me read this to you. It's titled, "Thank You, Rooster Teeth." It goes on to read, "Dear friends, today I'm announcing that I'm stepping down as president of Rooster Teeth effective April 26. Working at Rooster Teeth has been one of the highlights of my career. This company is so special, and I am forever indebted to Matt and Bernie for giving me this opportunity." Now, of course, this is 2 days ago, so he made this post on April 12th. He's stepping down April 26th, so there is a little bit of time he'll still be at RT, at least as of the time that I'm recording this. Post goes on to read, "This company is so special, and I'm forever indebted to Matt and Bernie for giving me this opportunity. When I became involved with Rooster Teeth, the company was about 60 people. Today, it's many multiples of that size. I am so proud of what we have built together. I wanted to thank the entire team from creative support staff from creative to support staff for making my time at Rooster Teeth such a fulfilling experience. You are all so talented and work so hard. You all truly inspire me and have become a family to me. I also want to thank each and every one of you in the community. This community is something special, and I feel so lucky to have been welcomed into it and supported by you all. You make Rooster Teeth stand out and provide the fuel that propels Rooster Teeth forward. You are all so passionate, creative, and good. Don't take this for granted. Don't take each other for granted. Between Fullscreen and Rooster Teeth, I've been running hard for almost 8 years. Now we're going to get into the backstory with that a little bit more once we finish this. It's now time for me to step back to spend some time with my other family. When I realized that my frequent flyer balance was rivaling that of Bernie, Gav, and Jeff, it became clear that I needed some time to chill. As my wife always reminds me, these are precious years with our kids. Finally, I wanted to thank Matt, Bernie, Jeff, Gus, Yvonne, George Stromopoulos, same George Stromopoulos, okay, Jesse Jacobs, and Peter Chernin, Andy Forsell, and Tom Pickett. You guys are the best and have given me more than you know. Thank you all for your patience with this transition. I know you all will stay focused on your goals and the opportunities that are opening for Rooster Teeth. In the interim, while we look for a replacement for my role, my direct reports will report to Matt. I know it's a cliche way to end this, but keep moving forward. There is so much goodness ahead. Very best, Ezra." And for those of you that don't know, of course, "keep moving forward" is a quote from the great Monty, rest in peace. All right, now let's take a look briefly into some of those people that he mentioned and how they tie in with Rooster Teeth. So Ezra, of course, is the president of Rooster Teeth. Some backstory on him. Before RT, he was co-founder and president of CEO Maker Studios. He was eventually hired to become president of Fullscreen in 2011. In January 2018, he left Fullscreen to become the president of Rooster Teeth. So he was there for a little bit over a year. He is the co-host of Rooster Teeth audio podcast, The Bungalow, alongside Matt Holman. On April 12, 2019, he posted that he would step down from his position as president of Rooster Teeth, effective April 26. So we know all that stuff. Here's Bernie Burns. We're not going to read the whole thing anymore. We're just going to read like the first sentence. So Bernie Burns, American writer, actor, producer, comedian, host, independent filmmaker, and director living in Austin, Texas. Best known to be co-founder of Rooster Teeth Productions. All right. Gavin Free. English actor, voice actor, camera host, on-screen talent, screenwriter, comedy content producer, director, cinematographer, cameraman, and internet and YouTube personality. Best known for his extensive work contributions to full-time employment at Rooster Teeth. And you have Jeff Ramsey, American independent filmmaker, actor, and voice actor, producer, screenwriter, on-camera host, content producer, comedian, as well as internet and YouTube personality, who is both known for being the co-founder and prominent staff member of Rooster Teeth. Gus Sorolla. Can I just skip to like the Rooster Teeth involvement? Okay, so Gus was a founding member of Rooster Teeth Productions, coming from Drunk Gamers and Bernie Burns and Jeff Ramsey. Then we got Yvonne Secretan, former Chief Operating Officer, COO of Rooster Teeth Productions, and has been a part of several side roles for the company. All right. And then we got Andy Forsell, COO of Rooster Teeth's parent company, Otter Media. Before that, he was COO of Rooster Teeth's former parent company, Fullscreen. Now, a few of those people we didn't get pulled up because they don't actually have RoosterTeeth.com Wikipedia pages because they tie in more with Fullscreen than they do Rooster Teeth. But I just wanted to give some backstory on the people he acknowledged because it's definitely something interesting to take a look at depending on if those people tie in with the Vic Mignogna situation or not. And I don't want to get on that just yet because, well, we're not in the theory portion of this video yet. That's going to be what's coming next. So here is Ezra's tweet. It says, "Thank you, Rooster Teeth," and links that post. Not much to take a look at here. Most of the replies are pretty positive for him. I don't really want to take a look at this. I'm just showing you this for the sake of, completionism. There's the post. Here's the tweet with the post. Let's move on. Now, before we get into the speculative portion of this video, I want to hop over to Reddit. This was from RWBY, a post about Ezra stepping down. This user, Aripita, quotes Ezra's post here where he said, "Finally, I wanted to thank Matt, Bernie, Jeff, Gus, Yvonne, George Tremopoulos, Jesse Jacobs, and Peter Chemin, Andy Fossel, and Tom Pickett." Now, this is important, which is why I wanted to show you guys a number of those people's backstory, like very briefly. So let's take a look at what some of the community says. This guy writes, "Why is it now that every time a mention of the founding members comes up, Joel is always left out? Kinda weird." So that's all fine and well, right? But let's move on to a more interesting reply, down here by Esheron, who says, "That's a touchy subject in regards to why Ezra didn't mention Joel." Captain Tomorrow says, "Do tell." And Esheron does just that. Here's what he writes. "I'm sure others could tell it better than me, but I'll give some summaries. While beloved by fans, he tends to be very vocal about things some people might not wish he be vocal about. For one thing, he has very publicly complained about the lack of respect he has received at the company. Something that lost him a lot of respect from the fans was when he, on Twitter, cheered on John McCain's cancer, not his fight against cancer. He was rooting for the cancer, and then argued with fans who found that in bad taste. I hesitate to label him a Trump supporter, but he has toted conspiracy theories that are very popular among that circle, and again, fights with fans who tell him the theories are wrong. Everyone at Rooster Teeth maintains radio silence once he goes off on the trails, though. They're not going to cut him loose, but they can't defend his actions, so they just say nothing. So like I said, touchy." And you can see, I think, maybe what I'm starting to get at here. I've presented a number of things in order for a reason. First, we're looking at the... let me switch this over, though. There we go. First, we took a look at Ezra's post, then a little bit of backstory with Ezra, a little bit of backstory with the people that he was talking about in his post, thanking. And then we hop over to Reddit to get the community's input, the Rooster Teeth community's input on this post. And you start to see quite clearly that, like a number of companies, the corporate structure at Rooster Teeth seems to have a number of cliques involved. And of course, one clique will have more power than the other one. And is that perhaps involved with Ezra's departure from Rooster Teeth? I don't necessarily think that's the case, to be quite honest, but I do want to acknowledge that they do seem to have a clique somewhat, and if you don't agree with their politics or their views, they might not interact with you, or they might just cut you right out. Did that happen to Vic Mignogna? Is Vic's political views, and maybe his religion, a reason that Rooster Teeth cut him loose? I don't know about that, and that's not really the main theory at hand here. I want to theorize about Ezra stepping down. But this stuff does definitely make us wonder the correlation, if any, regarding the Vic situation and this. It's all interesting stuff, but let's talk about Ezra some more. So, shortly before Ezra stepped down, there was actually another Rooster Teeth employee that, well, she didn't step down, rather she was actually let go. Here's a Reddit post from 24 days ago, titled "Christina Parrish has been fired," to a link on Twitter. We'll take a look at that first and come back to the post. Christina Parrish writes, "Nothing like getting fired when you have pink eye." Sky Dolan asks, "Oh my god, what? Are you allowed to talk about it, and why?" And she says budget cuts. Budget cuts. Interesting. Keep that in mind. Let's go back to the post. So the user Bob Throwaway writes, "I know she was one of the lesser known personalities at Rooster Teeth, only being in some of the newer shorts and OTS episodes last season, but still a little bit of a bummer, and weird to think about what RT would fire someone for." I mean, is it that weird? Is that weird to think about it? I mean, you get fired for all sorts of reasons. Especially with a company that has a lot of cliques involved with it. Edit, seen a lot of comments saying it was budget cuts. Wouldn't that be a layoff and not being fired? Maybe the vocabulary she is using is just confusing me. Budget cuts are a very understandable thing. So, here's something interesting. She actually was brought back on. Thank you, Ditto, for pointing it out to me. Here on Twitter, Christina wrote, "I got rehired at my job. I'll be in content for a while again. Be aware if you see me that I have a third arm. I don't know what that's referencing. This gift down here, by the way, that's a funny and also kind of weird but funny YouTuber named Nathan Barnett. Just a little trivia for you there. So she got brought back onto Rooster Teeth. Isn't that weird? She was fired for budget cuts, but then she was rehired. So was the reason really budget cuts? That makes me wonder. And now I want to present to you the main speculation of this video. So we've established that Rooster Teeth certainly seems to have, at least, somewhat of a cliquey internal structure. We've established that Christina Parrish was fired less than a month ago and brought back on. They said she was fired for budget cuts, but as far as I know, she was the only employee fired in this time frame. So if it really was for budget cuts, it was certainly interesting that she was the one they targeted. And if it really was for budget cuts, it's interesting that less than a month later, they changed their mind. A handful of weeks later, honestly. So it makes me question if it's really for budget cuts, or maybe they simply wanted her out of there and she changed her opinion on something and they brought her back on. Maybe that's the case. This is all speculation though. And this isn't about Ezra, so let's circle this back to Ezra. Although it certainly does give us a little bit more of insight with Rooster Teeth, which helps us understand the Ezra situation a bit more. So here's the speculation. What if Ezra saw a decline in Rooster Teeth, both currently and looking forward, thinking that things were going to get worse? Again, this could loosely tie in with Vic Mignogna. This whole thing kind of does a little bit, the whole cliquey culture and maybe letting someone go because you don't like them. Maybe they wanted to get rid of Vic for a while. I don't know. It's all speculation. Anyways, with the Vic situation, with the potential litigation, with Rooster Teeth already struggling a bit. I mean, they said they cut her for budget cuts. They fired her for budget cuts. They brought her back on, but they still claimed budget cuts. If you don't know, RWBY, one of the flagship shows of Rooster Teeth, was pulled from YouTube so that they could make it exclusive to their website. They needed to push the website because they weren't earning enough revenue from the show being on YouTube. On top of that, Genlock, a show they recently released, had a huge cost of production. And I'm skeptical if they really made all of that back. What I'm getting at is, for Rooster Teeth in the future, things aren't looking too great. I'm not saying that they're going under or anything like that. They can get over all of this, but it makes me wonder if Ezra is stepping down because he decided to distance himself from Rooster Teeth. He wanted to leave the company before things got worse, perhaps. Maybe he wanted to leave on a high note with his legacy. So this might be related to Vic, or not. Like I said, all these things kind of tie into speculation together, guys, but what do you think about this? I want to also apologize if I was a little scattered this video. I wanted to record this video this morning, but I didn't get a chance to finish it. And now it's 7 o'clock at night. I had a full live stream earlier with Micah, great guy, had a fun stream. But I drank a little bit, I'm a little tired, so my thoughts are not all there together right now. So I'm going to be wrapping this video up, but I certainly want to talk about this because I haven't seen anyone talking about this story, so I kind of wanted to break it to YouTube, fill you guys in on it. Hopefully the video was clear enough to get an idea of the speculations and why, you know, what supports the speculations and all that. So with that said, let's move on to some Twitter shoutouts. So these are for the video, Monica Rial wants to go to court. Shane Holmberg claims her and others welcome a lawsuit. And by the way, I had a lot of fun making that video. That title is so absurd, but it's true. He said that. I'm sorry, just had to laugh at that again. All right, shoutouts out to Zio TGT, Persorina Anime, Matt Bennett, geez man, I'm really out of it, holy smokes. Donovan Solvik, Mark Weinstein, Lord Bear 92, Duskwolf, Uchiha Unk, Vincent Darkfire, Space Oink, Gem Justice for Vic and Johnny, Drac Caprico, and Jesse James. I see all you guys. Thank you for your support. Lastly, don't forget to subscribe if you're not. Turn that notification bell on as well. Hit that thumbs up button. Consider leaving a comment down below. I do take a look at them all, and I reply to some. Lastly, consider joining our Discord server, now with almost 3K members if you'd like. It's open to the public. We'd love to have you there. And if you'd like to do a bit extra to support this channel and content we're creating here, consider becoming a sponsor over on Patreon. Link in the description. And I will see you next time.
Man, that's my plan of attack. Just let me in and I'ma rap the plaques. And I ain't about to win them back to back. I'm about to win them like it's back to back to back to back to back till I stop rapping.